happening with an Igbo person. So, having said that, for you to be an Igbo person, you must have heard from your own parents, from your mother or your father, showing you someone or telling you about your uncle or your auntie that went that is being affected by the Biafran war. For instance, I know that growing up, my mother showed me a woman that is still waiting for her husband to come back from a Biafran war. This Biafran war has treated this woman so badly, and emotionally, he's still thinking that one day her husband will come home. So, and he did not remarry. People are coming to marry her, but she said, no, I'm still waiting for my husband. Even when me that was born post Biafran war, I grew up to still see this woman as being single and still waiting for her husband to come home, and so on and so forth. And if you look at that, when the Queen of England died, someone, an Igbo woman, made a statement in her Twitter handle, mentioning about the traumatic experience of Biafrans, and how from that her Twitter handle, everybody was like, yes, he spoke so many people's mind, and so on and so forth. So Biafra is something that is in every Igbo's mind, regardless of your age and also on. So when you start seeing your existence, your parents will start telling you about one of your uncle, one of your relation that has been missing because of the Civil War. So now, because of this, somebody like the man that championed the Masob started emotionally telling people that
Ralph Wazirike, you mean?
Yes, it was Ricky. He started telling people that Biafra is still realistic and so on and so forth. But if you think about it, and after that, they now part of the group of Nnamdi Kanu now exposed him as somebody that is working with the Nigerian government, and his own group started dwindling and so on. And Nnamdi Kanu now came up. And you will ask yourself, who are these people working with that are listening to them? Because according to Real Everbest, which is true, because me, I'm an Igbo person, who are they working with? First of all, majority of IPOB members are stark illiterate. They don't think on their own. They don't take decision on their own. They don't make an informed decision. They are dependent on what these people want to tell them. And they want to tell them that, hey, not you opportunity to be part of the Nigerian government. Every part of what is it called? Every part of in election and position in the country is always given to northerners and so on and so forth. We are not remembered and so on. And they will start seeing this thing as a reality. They will start seeing it that we are not being part of Nigeria. We are not given the opportunity to be part of Nigeria. So they will start buying into their argument and being part of it. These illiterates, and Real Everbest mentioned that you will see a PhD holder or a professor or even a barrister that is part of this game. And you ask yourself, these people are educated. Yes, I look at them. Yes, they are really educated. But for me, that I have an idea of that personality traits are innate. They are biological inheritance. And some people will have this cognitive ability, but at the end of the day, you would notice that they don't use it to function very well. You have educated illiterates, and I call them people with intelligence but no common sense. I say that they are intelligent with no common sense because they have gone through school. They actually know that how can they not ask questions? How can we, if you are telling me in 2014 that we are going to get Biafra, and then in 2020 we have not gotten Biafra, where is it being discussed? who and who are discussing about it? Is it on the radio? And they will go to wherever, the UN, and start snapping picture and showing people. So I was trying to ask Christogonos a question. Do you think that this man is not being paid by Nigerian government, Nnamdi Kanu? Why is it that at every election he will come up with no election in Igbo land? And few days to the election, he will now ask people to go and vote. And you are telling me that he's not being paid. Look at the situation of Anambra State. They started singing that song, no election in Igbo land, no election in Igbo land. Because Andrew is part and parcel of it, and he's a member of APC. So they want to disrupt election in Anambra State, making people not to vote, so that at that day, there will be vote apathy, and he will go with his people, snatch the ballot box, and write the results. So this is the thing. Personally, I believe that he is being paid by the Nigerian government to disrupt and cause problem in Igbo land. And when you see that your own agitation, your own activism is killing your people, and you continue to do it, what kind of heart do you have? You see your people being slaughtered, and everybody is keeping quiet. The only thing I'm taking from Christogonos is that they are marching to Finland to go and do what our own government is supposed to do on our behalf. And if you see what is happening, it is we against them. They are not for us. We are doing things on our own. They are not giving us any support. We are doing it on our own. So if the Nigerian government is not part of this problem, why is it that those people that are killing people in Igbo land, did they fall from the sky and went back immediately they finished killing people? Why are they not being fished out? And why is it that it is only in APC dominated states in Igbo land that all these things are being perpetrated? Please. Okay.
Thank you very much, ma'am, Dr. Nasa. Sorry I had to use my bell there. Every speaker gets 5 minutes. When you see me raising my hand, you have a minute left. So please, let's try to stick to that. I don't like bringing that bell in because it's rude, to be honest, but it's the only way to be able to just checkmate the time. If you're just joining us, you're listening to The Violence Space. We're discussing Nnamdi Kanu, Simon Ekpa, and APC's failures at security. There's a petition on the Jumbotron. You can sign it. Please kindly sign it. It is to stop Simon Ekpa from preventing people, in the coming 2023 elections from depriving them of their constitutional right to vote. So let's go back to our speakers. Let's take Lamine. Lamine, you said we shouldn't call you women leader. Should I call you Iron Lady?
Hi, Omar. Hi, Sizo. Hi, Saddam. I didn't want to actually request the mic, but first of all, I need to say a very big thank you.
Congratulations, congratulations.
On
You don't
what?
get your PVC. Congratulations.
Congratulations on your PVC,
I
Lamine.
have collected my PVC, a lot of drama, but the long story short, I've got it now. So yeah, real level best. I don't know what to say, but thank you very much for a phenomenal submission that you just gave this evening. I like to stay very far away from Biafra because it's very sensitive. The first time I was on that space, on End Bad Politics space, I know how much I wept all through that space, listening to what had happened that period. I don't want to talk about it. I'm already even getting... I don't want to talk about it. But what I'm here to talk about is the leadership of the Southeast, how porous, how cracked it has been, and people are taking advantage of it. And I don't understand how the leadership of Southeast, the Southeasterners have not seen that there's something, need to do something about themselves. Is this noise coming from me? Can you guys hear me?
Let me go on.
Okay, there's a noise I'm hearing. That's why I'm asking. Okay. So the leadership is porous. Oh my goodness. And I don't know why they will not learn from their northern region or southwestern region, and even the south region, how the Southeasterners have allowed these people to It's a wrong word to use, but use them, really. They use them to their advantage. I mean, Ebonyi governor joined APC because he felt he was not going to get a ticket in PDP. Didn't get the ticket in APC. Hell no. Why would Buhari choose somebody that came forth to become the governor of Imo? There's something is not adding up. And it's unfortunate that they are not saying it. But now, what I am begging the people of the Southeast, you have seen that your leaders have failed you. And we have seen one person that Nigerians, not just you people, we Nigerians are saying, this is who we want. The survival, this is too much to ask, but the survival of this country as I speak to you is on the shoulder of the Southeastern. If you don't pull up, if you don't fight these people with everything you have, if you don't fight these people, then there's no point. This country does not need to exist. I am from the north and I'm saying it. I've said it several times. If PO does not win this election, it is rigged. And if it is rigged, then you're telling us that there's something about the Southeast and they don't deserve to lead us. Then why do you want them in the country? It's as simple as that. And we know that they cannot do that. This election will not be rigged, cannot be rigged. So everything, whatever it is that the Southeasterners will do, not their leaders, the people of South, talk to your friends, talk to your family members living in Nigeria, outside of Nigeria, you pull up for this election. You do everything to fight and collect your PVC. You fight IPOB. You fight every fucking soul that want to come between us and PO winning this election. Because the survival of this country, unfortunately, is on your shoulder. It is too much to bear, but you have to do it. Because we want this man to get the bulk of vote from that place. Then we add up for him to win this election. So any shenanigans coming from your leaders, we are here. We fight with you people. We do everything it takes. Anything. We don't mind coming to the Southeast to canvass for vote, whatever it takes for us to win this election, for you people to come out. Anything they want to do, if they want to kill all of us, let them kill all of us. This election, we pull up. Southeast and South, you pull up. Come out for us, for the sake of this country, for the survival of Nigeria. You come out en masse and vote and say to your leadership, fuck you. I yield the mic.
Thank you very much, my sister. Thank you very much. Because there's no how, there is no, I already know all these things, but if you don't understand that all these things will play out before the elections, then you don't even understand the terrain we're in Nigeria. These guys, it is their go-to, as in, like when you wake up in the morning and say, what's the information you use to win elections? This is their normal way. Divide and conquer, throw in all the fear-mongering you can throw into regions where you cannot get any votes, because they know anyhow you want to do it, there is no mathematics you want to play that Tinubu or Atiku will get 5% in any southeastern state. There is no mathematics you want to do. There is no, if you like, hire the highest, let all the governors come together. There is no how you can do it. So
that's why they're attacking INEC facilities.
That's why they're attacking INEC facilities now. That's why they're sending all this stuff down there to the south, because they know there is no how. Southeasterners are one set of people that they don't even run, they don't have any leadership. They don't have leader. They still say you do well. In fact, many people in the region, they don't. I dare say this, that no matter how bad Nigeria wants to be, there is one region, if not for the insecurity, the Southeast will never suffer. They are traditional, they are normally, yes, there are poor people everywhere, but they are normal. Normally, Southeasterners are hustlers. They go find money as they want to find money. They will not go out as they have never depended on the government since time immemorial. The government has failed the people of the Southeast. Southeasterners built the airport over the airport after the war. Now men join money, build over the airport. Go and verify. Not the government. Over after 60 years, they are now celebrating second Niger Bridge. That is the only federal presence in the Southeast. They are building rail lines across the country. You don't hear any rail line to the Southeast. Federal roads in the Southeast are a mess, are a shambles. Nothing is working in the South is their federal presence. The people do everything themselves in that region. So that is one region that no matter who becomes president tomorrow, that region, they will find their way. If they could come back from a war where they had over 3 million people dead from Koshoko, trust me, the northeastern region, Nigeria, after Boko Haram, people are still living in IDP camps till today. Facts. If they could come back from a war where people died of Koshoko and they built back their region back to where it is today without no federal presence, trust me, that region will still survive. So for that region to come out and say that they're supporting a man, keep sentiment aside. They're not seeing, if it was a Rocha Sokorocha, nobody in the East will support. Probably only his people that he pays. In fact, I'm saying, Rochas, there are 3 different Southeasterners on the ballot for presidency this time itself. I dare anybody to come and say, you don't know any of the remaining 2. Southeasterners are running for presidency in Abga and another party. I don't, force. Let's say 3, 4.
I beg good and be.
You see? You see, I'm bro, my brother. You don't even know.
Man, I don't know them.
I swear. One
Are
day
you serious?
ADC,
Like, they are
Ibe
Southeasterners going.
Kachuku the ADC. One day Abga.
Was it not Ibe Kachuku that people they came to accuse him of bribing
my brother
party
Nahim.
delegates?
One day Abga. One day Amina A and one A something.
ZLP, Zenith Labour Party.
Okay, that means there are more than 3 percent. There are more than 4 billion. I know say one day want A something also. Then joke. Why do not rally around these guys? Because their message does not resonate to the people. So when these people try to bring in all this blame, all these tribal cards and everything, understand that APC game in the Southeast is to make sure they try and disenfranchise the people. Make sure that they don't vote. Make sure that the vote turnout is low. Because if there are 1 million people voting for Pt2, voting in the next election in Anambra State, I can beat my chest and say 990,000 of them will vote for Peter. The 10,000 they will give APC 2K, give Atiku 2.5. They share the remaining distance with the rest. They know this. So please, my people, our own workers, to go back home, talk to your past. My sister Lami said, freaking talk to your people back home in the Southeast. Energize your people. Oh, nobody they fear anybody. Mount your polling unit. Go and get your PVCs. Come out. That day, there's a proverb in the Igbo language that says, when the gods begin to prove that they are mad, the people will show them the tree that it was carved from. When you begin to prove, they will take you to the native doctor and show you that tree. Okay, this God will be see where you can Iroko will cut you from. Oh. No this and no peace. When the people cook for them, nothing will stop the people from coming out to vote. So please, Nigerians, go out en masse. Rally your people in the Southeast. We are voting and we are winning in the landslide. Back to you, Omar, please. I don't know who's going next.
Thank you very much, my brother. Of course, we take that segment every week, every time we are on this platform. Of course, we have to give him his time. Definitely.
Omar, please. Omar, can you start this? Can we start this place with a prayer, please? He prayed for us yesterday. Please, can you pray for us? Can you give us the prayers? Please. There was a prayers yesterday.
No, na N6 Sabi. Okay. That one. Okay, got it. Come on. Okay. In the meantime, enjoy this one.
Spend more than $60 billion. They forget that transmission line is a super highway for generated electricity and power. They could not even make a down payment for a roasted corn.
Do you understand? Now that one they bust.
Electricity.
Now wait till they bust my brain past with that. You know, it starts like he's taking you somewhere. I mean, look at where this guy started from. Guys, this is the Tinubu segment. Just 5 minutes, please.
Spend more than $60 billion. They forget that transmission line is a super highway for generated electricity and power.
You go say they carry you go somewhere.
They could not even make a down payment for a roasted corn for that electricity.
How did we get there? And then he goes ahead to pray in Kaduna as a Muslim. I mean, he's a Muslim, right?
APC, may Allah bless you. I want to be live in a Satan regime. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of our Lord, the magnificent, the Father of all, the ruler, the greatest, God Almighty, that brought you here to acknowledge our party.
Of the
To remain loyal to.
Oh, he's not a Lamba Muslim.
I think he was of the greatest Nigerian students.
Greatest go.
You go to say he get where for
You
finish.
guys are
And they say
half caste Muslim, half caste.
Look, you can fake many religions, but you cannot fake Islam.
do you understand?
Jimmy said,
Have you seen the picture where he was in a mosque and everybody had their right hand over their left and he had his left hand over his right?
Bro, you know say if you listen to this man, guys, he get where for they always finish. Guys, listen, just follow me. Listen, follow me. You go to say if they carry you go one place, you go just say where we just finish for one place. Listen.
More than $60 billion.
Cars did they move for you?
They forget that transmission line is a super highway.
That super highway, I don't really understand. But you go see CPI say they carry you go one
generated
place.
electricity power.
Okay.
They could not even make a down payment.
Not there for a finish.
For a roasted corn.
Now, can't see where for a finish for this place. Listen, can't see where for a finish for this one.
APC, may Allah bless you. I want to be live in a Satan regime. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of our Lord.
Baba won't begin speaking tongues.
Now, therefore, finish. He go be like say they carry you go one place. He go just drop his man. Don't get Oh boy. God forbid bad thing. Oh Lord.
This is meant to be
let's
an
go straight to
80-year-old Muslim.
Let's go. It's Savik dropped off. Hey, okay, we take Gaboni. Zaria, I see you. Gaboni, can you hear me?
Yes, so I can hear you. I'm here. I'm
All
here.
right, go ahead.
Yeah. It has on the topic. Let me go straight to the topic. See, for some time I've been following the Anonymous on Facebook. In as much as there's something they put out that I don't really concur with, but about this Simon Ekpa issue, they've been following it judiciously. They bring out some statements, and when you put one and two together, you see that on this Simon Ekpa issue, they're making a lot of sense. And I'm so angry that we have so many Igbo youths that are buying to the idea of Simon Ekpa. And it all boils down to the level of illiteracy in the region. In as much as in recent times, we've had so many people from that region. Education has actually, come up in terms of, when you look at the stats in education, that's come up. But unfortunately, most of those that are not well educated, still buy, because it is only someone that is not well educated that will not think for themselves and will not imagine, reason for themselves in such situation. That is why this thing is happening, because I can't imagine myself listening. Sometimes when I go to Simon Ekpa's Twitter space, sometimes when I hear him speak, I wonder, is this the person that is doing that is like, this is the person, like, actually now this person now they cause this thing for himself. It is shameful. Like, almost shame the cash missing at that guy. It does, like, that guy is not well grounded, and I wonder why people listen to him. Sorry, boy. I wonder why people. It is the same high level of illiteracy that made Nigerians vote for Buhari. Because when you look at that election, you see that majority of those people, when you look at that election, you see that majority of these people that voted for him, one, illiteracy played a part, and the greed for power, the fight for power. You see, the APC at that point, like what you played, that the Goodluck Jonathan statement you played when this play started. You see, when you see them, you see anger, fight, like they as if somebody took their life support. You get the point, because they wanted power at all costs and they would kill for it. It is so unfortunate. 2015, when I see some people, then when I see people supporting Buhari, campaigning for him, I tend to imagine, like, how do these people reason? That is how I imagine in 2015. I was like, how can like a Buhari, But unfortunately, it was so clear that Nigeria as a nation have a problem, and that is why a Tinubu is still think he can become the Nigerian president. Because that problem of Nigeria, that's why Tinubu still think he has a chance to become a president of Nigeria. Simon Ekpa has played in the psyche of most uninformed and badly educated Southeasterners, mostly the youths and mostly not only the youth, because there are some elderly people that still buy to this nonsense he's doing. It's quite unfortunate. December is here. I should be going to the village, but I'm still considering should I go or not, because I'm scared. December to an Igbo man is always that period we look forward to, because we want to go to the village. I remember when I was small, we come outside in the sun, we look at the moon. That evening play with when all your parents, siblings come home with their children, your cousins, and now it is now our turn. We have children to take back home, so that but look at how messed up the Southeast is becoming. Like we said, like it has been said, these are all coordinated attacks against the presidency of Pt2. See, Pt2 is the force in this movement. Pt2 is the force. They've seen. Do you think these guys have not done their own offline pool? They've done online pool, we've seen it. They've done offline pool too, to see that they don't stand a chance in this election. And the only way they can win is by this, inciting violence. That is why those media houses came up and say violence might affect 11 million. But all those are all media propaganda to play with the mind of people, so that when they start, when they try to manipulate, they want to, they even said it that insecurity will cause problem with staff. Do you know what is happening in the north? So many local governments in the north are under attack and under the governance of Ansaru. And who was it Channels yesterday when some men two men came and were talking about it? So many local governments in the northeast are under the control of Ansaru and some terrorist organization, not under the Nigerian government. But tomorrow there will be election and nobody's even talking about it. The media is not pushing it out. They are pushing it. They are pushing it on the one of the Southeast, because they are pushing they are pushing a propaganda, making sure that the Southeast does not have that blood vote that Pt2 needs to win. And there's one thing I know about my people in the Southeast. We need to play with our life. There's something somebody posted the other day, said in Igbo language, human, what we call human is madu. Sorry, boy. Madu is
Gaboni. Gaboni, can you hear me? Hello. Saddam, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, all right.
I think you dropped off or got a call.
Yeah, all right. Let's move on then. Zari Yusuf, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Omar, Caesar, Professor Saddam, Lamin, everybody. Earlier on, I began looking at I started going over how anybody arrived at that figure of 11 million voters. Now, we are not saying there could be security issues where 11 million people will be displaced or 11 million people will engage in violence. We're talking about 11 million eligible voters, people who have registered, people who have their cards, and people who are coming out to vote. And I began wondering, so we could actually pull up that kind of number in the Southeast, that so-called minority. We created this Wazobia thing as the most populous tribe, and then the Igbos are the fewer. And I asked myself, so in the Southeast, we do have that number that could be pulled out, not of the total number of voters that are eligible, but of those that will be disenfranchised. And just this evening, when I looked at that, I began asking myself, what exactly is happening? Why the Southeast? And I did one short video in that regard where I was asking where exactly in the Federal Republic of Nigeria looks like a place, or where are those places that look like elections should not hold or might not necessarily hold due to security issues. And I realized the Southeast is not one of those places. We've got places where even security forces have to tip off terrorists to access some places. We've got places where you cannot go to your farm, where somebody will declare a particular day when you can go harvest, or declare a particular time where you can hold your market days and all of that. But there still seems to be nothing wrong with those areas where very certain elections will hold, and I'm sure millions of votes will be churned out of those areas, even though we know very well whether you give an alert or not, it is most unlikely that elections would hold in that area. So what exactly is the problem with the Igbo man? What exactly is the problem with the Southeast? What exactly is it? Now, I did mention something, I don't know if it was on this space. I took us back to 1983 when somebody decided to overthrow a democratically elected government of his own kin. And people felt, okay, it's all about corruption, it's all about this, it's all about that. Somebody is coming in to sanitize the system. I remember one old man who said to me, if Buhari comes back, we are northerners. If he comes back to power, you may have been a child. I think I was 3 years old then in 1983. I was born 1980. I was 3 years old. He said, so you will not know exactly what that meant to people, what that meant to businessmen, what that meant to government officials and all of that, and what that equally introduced in the relationship between regions, tribes of Nigeria. When he comes back, the same thing will happen. And now we are seeing it. And to a large extent, there are suspicions that the coup itself was not fueled by corruption. It was a simple idea that the 2IC Assad then, his name keeps skipping my mind, a Southeasterner who was the vice of Shehu Shagari, had... thank you so much, Alex Ekweme. Of course, his chances were quite bright in the forthcoming election. And then certain quarters were not in a very good mental position to embrace the emergence of somebody from that region as the that fueled that. But of course, let's dismiss that as a rumor. But now, what exactly is the problem with the Igbo people? And frankly speaking, when I saw that figure, I was elated. I was excited. I said to myself, so it's not as if there are 11 million voters in that region. But no. But there are 11 million people that will be, or that could be disenfranchised. And I said, that is a lie. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's not possible. It's a lie. How did you arrive at that? And then with the massive destruction, I can't remember where about 500 or 600 PVCs were destroyed. It was in the Southeast. So what is the problem with that region? Will there have been a problem if there was no Pt2? Would there have been an issue if it was just the devil and the the Red Sea? If it was just the chariots of Pharaoh and the Red Sea, will there have been all of these issues? And why is the man that has been released, Kanu, kept in custody, and then somebody is given an ultimatum of January, and then he's still being kept and he has not been released, and then all of a sudden, possibly some things will just fall in shape, and then we will not know how to connect, the dots. We are in a very difficult situation where I remember I said once that let's make sure that at the end of the day, even with a free and fair election, we are not robbed of what our choice is come 2023. Now, it's not about Pt2 coming from the southeast. It's about the unity of the country. It's about the unity of Nigeria. It's at stake. Nothing too different from what played out prior to the civil war. Basically, those are the steps we are taking. It's just that this time around we do not have the military in the picture directly in that sense. But basically, these are some of the things that kept playing out, where in broad daylight, somebody would have sold propaganda that has created a certain setting where on the day of election, whether the Southeasterners vote or not, because these reports that are coming out are being taken to certain quarters in the US, in the UK, and international organizations. Thank you so much. Now, so let's just, and I think I will just commend this space where we pick these things on time and we deliberate on them. And then every other person knows, because people from around the world would know that definitely we are not dull. We are aware of these schemes, and we rebut, we dismiss, and we keep things in perspective. But otherwise, much as we know very well the chances of Pt2 coming into power are high, believe you me, if we don't stand strong, we will feel it very tangible within our grasp, and then somebody will want to make it slip away. And God forbid that from happening. Thank you very much. I yield my mic.
Thank you very much, Zari, my brother. Thank you for that beautiful submission. If you're just joining us, you're listening to the Violence Space. I give you 5 minutes of Bola Metinobu the last time before we took 2 speakers. I'll give you 5 minutes of Peter Obi now so you can differentiate between, left and right.
I'm telling you the problems of Nigeria, but most of them you know already. So they are not things that you want to hear any longer. What you want to hear is the solutions, because everybody knows the problem, everybody is suffering, everybody wants struggle. Nigeria is not bereft of ideas. Nigeria is not bereft of ideas or bereft of manifestos. There's very good reading manifestos. There's very good reading ideas in Nigeria. If you go where they are packed, they're beef with them. What is lacking? Is the institutional weakness that is not allowing to deliver them, and the political way. The government we intend to form, I and that team, without team, we do things differently. We want to bring a transformative government, purposeful government that will start dealing with the issues. And those issues are known and very clear. The issue of security, which will be decisive. The issues of unity, which will be decisive. The issues of our economy, because it is critical.
Now, on that basis of the issue of unity, I believe he was actually talking about this particular situation, because that's a very good way to word it. On the issue of unity, there's only one place in the country where you have all of these vibes coming from. And I believe that if, honestly, this man gets into office, he is the true unifier. Look at how Nigerians have rallied around him from every region. On this platform, we've had people from all regions come in support of this man. So you start to ask yourself why some fifth columnists will now come up and say they want to derail that kind of election. God forbid. let's go straight to Oladipo, who's been waiting for a while. Well-meaning Nigerian, I see you as well. Pando 007, I see you. Peter is better, I see you. Malu B, Eson, Adebayo, Ijeoma, Bat Hunter. Bat Hunter, I saw your comment where you said we're giving Simon Ekpa. No, you don't. I disagree with you completely on that, because I believe that, at the end of the day, you cannot let people like this continue to run with the narrative without trying to counter it in some way. So, yeah, I saw that comment. I just thought I should put that to you. Ebuka, I see you. So we'll come to everybody in a bit. Now I'll go with Oladipo. Oladipo, good evening.
Homer, good evening. How are you?
I'm good, man. You?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Saddam, I greet. Sizo, good evening, my brother. God bless you guys. You guys will walk and never stumble. Thank you for all what you do. I really appreciate you guys. Much love from here. I greet all my GMA people. I greet all my GMA listeners. I greet everybody in the house. Otumba, I greet you, sir. I want to say this. Let me tell you something. Omar, have you read the terminal list?
No,
Have
I
you read
haven't.
that novel? You have not.
No, I
There is
haven't.
Amazon just converted that Jackass novel into a movie. It's a TV series. As in, you see, those guys, they were elite unit of like a SEAL team elite unit, and they were good at what they do. So when some company that works with DAPA, as in is a research arm of the United States government, wanted to test a performance enhancement drug that will remove PTSD from soldiers, that will remove forms of emotions from soldiers, that soldiers will just become robots that will just follow orders. They chose this team, and they chose that team just because they used one person that was part of the team, that was part of them, that was a very close person to the team. And I won't lie to you, that thing gave every one of them brain tumor. And when they found out, they sent them on a mission of no return. Now, what am I trying to bring out? Let me tell you something. If you all remember very well, we started from the fact that Pt2 has only 4 people in one room. When we started to show them that we were more than enough, they told us that we couldn't raise 200 people in Kaduna. When they saw that we are becoming farther more than what they were expecting, they started attaching Pt2 to IPOB. When that didn't work and they saw that this thing was still marching on strongly, they came with the fact that Pt2 is going to break Nigeria. They said Pt2 is going to divide Nigeria. Now, I don't pray for Nigeria to be divided, though I have my own personal sentiments about that. But let me ask you this question before I go on. To the Yoruba people, if Nigeria is divided, don't you think it will pay you? To the Igbo people, to the Hausa people, I'm not going to go into that line before they say, they are trying to divide Nigeria on Saddam's space. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to bring a point. Now, when that couldn't work, knowing fully well that the East has been damaged in terms of PDP, because let me tell you something, if Wike was fully in support of Atiku, I believe that, I'm not saying for sure, I believe that all these Simon Ekpa, Njoku or whatsoever will not rise. But now, they have done their permutations, they have sent their pollsters, they've sent their people to go and feel the ground. They now saw that, oh boy, the way this thing is going, we might not even be able to pick a local government in the whole of the Southeast. Now, they looked at it. What can we do? Why didn't they look for someone that lives in Nigeria to use? Have you asked yourself that question? Why did they have to go to look for someone somewhere out there that seems unreachable? And they now need the man to start instigating violence. That's number one. Number two.
My
Hello?
brother, he's reachable. He's reachable.
I'm not the. I understand you,
Hand
but
go soon reach am, no worry.
Yeah,
you
please,
see,
we don't do that. Try not to interject anyone, please. Go ahead, Oladipo.
yeah, that's number one. Number two, Simon Ekpa did not send money to anybody. Monies for all the arms and all the talks that all the people they were using to foment all this trouble, I believe was paid internally in this country. Now, you want to tell me that the burning of INEC offices, the chaos and the wahala started by these people. The emergence of Simon Ekpa and the Oponugaruba tweet that said Pt2 is the leader of the IPOB. Barely a day after this whole Simon Ekpa thing started to take ground, it tells me a lot. I'm not going to say much, but let me tell you something. I want to talk to my Igbo people. Please talk to your people. They should not let them use them to rob them of their rights. Because let me tell you something. That is what is going on. Omar, I've seen your hand. Just give me 1 minute. I'll be off here. They should not let them use their people. Because let me tell you something. Tikule oba pani to deal le pani o. If the death inside cannot kill you, the one outside will not be able to catch you. They are using you against yourselves. And if we don't take caution, that is what they want to use to thwart the massive vote that is going to come from the Southeast. APC has nothing in the Southeast. What they preach to the Yoruba people here, it is tribalism, nepotism, bigotry. In the North, they use religion. That is the three things they use to destabilize us. We must never let it work. Go get your PVC and vote. Stay after your vote. Make your vote to be counted. Make sure at your polling booth they upload the results on IREF. Check IREF before they leave. I yield my mic.
Thank you very much, my brother Oladipo. You know, when I made my opening submission, there was a part of it I cut out. It was just maybe some insight into who Simon Ekpa is, because a lot of people have been wondering, how did this guy just surface from nowhere and start causing problems in the Southeast? I'll play you a clip that is an evidence of the kind of violence that these people are perpetrating in the Southeast. And that's the funny thing. So they go and attack military officers. And those military officers, knowing the kind of army that we have in our country, those ones come back with serious, vengefulness, and they just go all out on an innocent community. And they've been using that to cause problems, in that region for a very long time. Now, who is Simon Ekpa himself? They said he was born on the 21st of March, 1985. Some have come here to say that his name is not Simon Ekpa. They said he's Oliver Njoko. I don't know. But they said the first thing that stands out about him is that he once represented Nigeria as an athlete. He was a silver medalist at the 2003 Under-20 Championships. Public records show Ekpa is a native of Ebonyi State, but is now based in Finland. He described himself on his Twitter account as a human rights activist, CEO, senior legal advisor.
But no vex, what do you represent Nigeria in, bro?
They represent Nigeria. It was a silver medalist at the 2003 African Under-20 Championships. I think it was a sprinter at the time.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
he ran at the African Under-20 Championships in 2003. He was a silver medalist. And public records show that Ekpa is a native of Ebonyi State, but is now based in Finland. He described himself on his Twitter account as a human rights activist, CEO, senior legal advisor at Ekpa and Co. OY, legal researcher, author, analyst, Finnish politician, Biafra spokesperson. It says the last bit is only partly true. In July 2021, Ekpa was named as a director for Radio Biafra following the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu. This was what shot him into the IPOB limelight. Yet, IPOB sacked him from the role that same month for refusing to sign the code of conduct governing the operation of the broadcasting station. Ekpa has been very vocal in his support for the realization of Biafra. His voice has grown even louder with the 2023 elections looming. Pay attention. He's also been at the forefront of the sit-at-home orders, which have had severe socioeconomic consequences in the Southeast. On December 12th, 2022, the Igbo group Ohaneze called for his arrest over the destruction and killings in the region. The IPOB has also distanced itself from Ekpa, but that hasn't deterred him from going about his activities. So yeah, that's the man we're talking about tonight, and we're going to do everything to, make sure that man's narrative does not fly. There's a petition on the Jumbotron. Please try and sign it. Is I think some people are trying to call on the Finnish government. They are planning a march in Finland.
Omar, can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead,
Omar, let me ask you a question. You're the president of a country.
Mm-hmm.
You hate a tribe. Let's say you're a tribalist. You hate them. No wahala. There's a terrorist group starting over there. In your own region where you're from, you've seen that this terrorism thing is not good. You've seen the most extreme level of it. So no wahala. A terrorist group is starting in that region. You are seeing the people of the region, because now there is proof that IPOB has problem with this Ekpa fellow. So even it's like Boko Haram saying, we not getting this one, we are terrorists according to you, but this one is a terrorist. We don't even support him. And somehow you are not seeing Abike Dabiri or the minister Onyema trying to make this an international issue. You have proscribed them as a terrorist group. Now you have held one down as a Hydra. Another person has come up, and you are not using that same ginger to where's the Operation Python Dance Finland 2.0 version from the APC government. This is a terrorist. Did the United States chase Osama bin Laden, and after they got bin Laden, they left all the little Al Qaeda guys to go be like, okay, cool, it was just bin Laden we were looking for. It makes no sense till date. We've read proof that Ohaneze Ndigbo has called for this man's arrest. We've read proof that even the IPOB has called for this man's arrest. So at this point, what is stopping the Nigerian government? Because let me explain something. Let all the Igbos write to Finland and say, we want this man back home. If the Nigerian government acts like, we don't even have prison to keep him, we are not really looking for him, we have more important things to solve, do you as the Finland government look like, he'll just look like maybe he's a gay person and, maybe he advocates for gay rights in Nigeria. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
he can easily use anything to seek for asylum.
Exactly. So if I was Finland now, I'm checking 100,000 people are reporting this guy on social media. One group of people wrote letter against him. This one wrote, but the Nigerian government is not looking for him. Buhari is playing PlayStation with Biden. What's my business? I'll just be like, when your government is, when is government to government, then I'll know that, okay, bilateral relations are at stake. So it all goes back to the APC to prove that 11 million votes Lamba made me suspect PDP, because his PDP is 11 million votes in the bag. When that Lamba came up, I said, this looks like PDP might have activated Ekpa. But it's also an indictment on the APC government that whoever is even activating this man as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, they should be actively doing something against it. And it hurts. I don't understand. Anyway, I yield the mic, Sha. I hope I'm making sense.
You think just ignoring him, you think he's been deliberate so far? Because
that is what I'm asking, that please help me make sense of it, because what is the ignoring Ekpa part? You've proscribed them a terrorist group and a new leader has come up while you've cut the other leader, even through guerrilla means. What is wrong with Buhari?
It's not like you don't have a history of doing it anyway. You did it in
yes, now. So what is wrong with Buhari and nipping this thing in the bud? What's wrong with him? I don't understand, though. This man is willfully allowing a region of this country burn to the ashes for no reason. Leave the Tinubu factor, leave the election factor. The buck still stops at the president, as it was said during the Jonathan time. It must stand for Buhari as well. What is he doing? One letter from Buhari to Finland, Ekpa will be back home in chains officially. We've seen America do it for Brittany Griner and the rest. So what is going on here? It's sad, Sha. Make I just yield the mic.
Yes, it is. Pando 007. Good evening.
Hi, Emma. Good evening.
Sort out your background noise. And your voice is a bit.
Pando, it be like say never chop. For violence space, with a ginger for you.
I did tell you, that's not for your bed. You did.
Go
sit up.
I'm fine.
Pando, are you using an earpiece or something?
I think so.
Yes. Let me disconnect.
No, speak directly into your mic, sir.
All right, so hi,
Yeah, loud and clear.
okay.
Nice
Oh,
one.
much
Good evening,
better.
good evening,
Welcome.
good evening, Sizu, good evening, Prof. Saddam, Omar, wonderful, wonderful guys of the violence space. I greet you all. Okay, I'll go straight to the point. I'm from Nkume in Olu, in Imo State, and for the very first time since we had the experience of who we call the Supreme Court governor, in the person of Hope Uzodinma, which I know the road is not good. Um, we've had problems in Imo State. Imo State used to be one state that's very peaceful, one state that even when we had the whole IPOB, the peak of the whole IPOB Buhaha, Imo State was relatively calm. We had more of IPOB guys in the Anambra axis and all of that. And something happened in my town in Kume last week. I think 2 soldiers were killed by unknown gunmen. And as usual, soldiers would definitely come, either kill some youth, take some away, and all of that. Now, there was this point last week where they resisted some unknown gunmen and discovered that some of these guys are not even indigenes of the state. They come with nose marks and all of that. In fact, one of them was an officer, a serving officer in the Nigerian police. So it's so scary and it's so annoying to see how, because of politics, they've infiltrated the whole IPOB movement and turn it into a killing spree. So for me, I feel this is more political than just fighting for the emancipation of Southeast and all of that. So these politicians are evil, and like my brother would say, we are waiting for Hope to leave that office and we'll deal with him, because the truth is he brought this upon us. Someone who doesn't say anything, doesn't see anything in the killing of youths. Rather, he would say the youths are the unknown gunmen. They created what is it called? Ebube, is it Ebube now? Obubago. Yeah, they created Obubago. Why Hope Uzodinma created what are these people he created now? So what they do is, once you come into town with a clean car and you're a young guy, they pick you up. That's what is happening now in my town. So, for those that want to travel, especially from the Olu axis, I would say just watch it this December. It's going to be crazy. Most my brothers have said we all should just stay put and not come to the village, because it's so terrible. Now it's like they just watch people, this young set of people, these guys that are pushing for the NSAS, these guys that are pushing for the Pt2 and all of that, just pick them, intimidate them, and scare them. But guess what? The good news is that 11 million votes, we are going to get more of that from the Southeast, and that is given. We are not shaken. We are very resilient. In fact, so much grass. You see, the thing is, I think they're doing all of this is even giving people the reason to even want to vote the more, because they are giving people the reason to be tired of the status quo. Like my aunt in the village said to me, she said, see, Chinonso, just don't worry about us here. We know what to do. An Igbo man will not leave a Peter Obi and vote for a Tinubu. It's not possible. APC does not even have, I don't think they're going to have up to 5,000 votes in Southeast. I can bet that. Even when there was no Labour Party, APC, they see road for Southeast. Not to talk of now, where Labour Party and the movements with the whole boom, don't they? Come on. So for Simon Ekpa, I think is just is very relevant, if you ask me. And we shouldn't really give him so much. I'd rather we put pressure on the Nigerian government to see, I mean, the same ginger where they use ginger arrest Nnamdi Kanu. Why are they so slow in Simon Ekpa? You understand? So they should do the same thing to that. So if it's not political, then I think there's a problem somewhere. So guys, thank you so much. Please, I don't collect my PVC. For those of us that have not gotten our PVC, please.
Praise the
In
Lord.
fact, I happy die. But my own are transfer. So something we need to talk about. I beg. I try to call the REC Lagos. What's his name now? REC on voters education to ask about the reason why they are not issuing PVC in Lagos to those who register between January, to April. But his number for some funny reason hasn't been going through. I think we should discuss
Bro,
that.
don't worry. We'll discuss INEC not today. We'll have our space on Saturday. We'll be discussing.
All right. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Omar, Sizzle, Saddam. I yield the mic. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you very much. If you're just joining us, we're talking about Simon Ekpa, the guy that is the supposed breakaway IPOB guy who's been fomenting violence in the Southeast. I came across this video. It was put together by Njenje Media TV, and I think everybody should try and listen to the audio of it, and then I'll play you another clip.
Yes. I don't come back. Yes, can I see them? Yes, can I see them? They are too much. I don't come back. It's happening like Duma. Yes, Duma. Yes, can I see them? Now, soldier now. Now, soldier. Now, soldier. Kai, Jesus Christ. That's what you tell me. Like, you say the one soldier they go on somebody down. That's what you tell me. Guy, he tell me now. I say they gun somebody down. He told me. I don't know. The one way they do didn't tell me. The one way they did, he tell me say they gun somebody down. That's why they ask you, how many soldiers you get?
Now, you see, the reason I played this video is for those who might feel some form of sentimental attachment to the rhetoric that these guys are preaching. I need you to understand something. When people are preaching a message for you, or to you rather, you should ask yourself if they truly have what it takes to deliver, what they're preaching to you. Because somebody that is trying to set his own region on fire just to actualize some kind of fantasy idea in his head that in reality, as Real Ever Best said, we don't even have the option of a referendum in our constitution. So it's not even on the table. And yet you want to waste the lives of people. You want to prevent people from going home. Listen to what Panda 007 said, that people are already thinking of not coming home this Christmas, just to celebrate with their loved ones. That's not how it works in the Southeast. Everybody knows the Igbos for going back home, when it's Christmas. And you've created a region that is almost uninhabitable for certain people. It's very unfortunate. But please, for those of you who still feel some kind of sentimental attachment to what these guys are preaching, you should listen to this from Goodluck Jonathan again.
We can no longer go backward. We must move forward. And I said that when you talk about change, the only thing that can bring a lasting change in this country is the implementation of the national conference that all Nigerians gathered to come up with a document and say that if we begin to do things this way, we'll change this country for better. These people who are talking about change refuse to participate. They say they will not implement it. So what change are they bringing? Every time you listen to them, you see the bitterness in their hearts. Bitter, hunger, as if somebody has taken their property. Venom. And I said that, look, you cannot give what you don't have. If you don't have a peaceful heart, a friendly heart, you cannot bring peace to people.
I'll leave it at that. Let's go to our speakers. 1 minute Nigerian, thank you for your patience. Benjamin, I see you. I'll come to you after 1 minute Nigerian. 1 minute Nigerian, go ahead.
All right, bro. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. I'll just quickly run through. Like I had written some things down, pieces here, pieces there. I'll quickly run through it. Before, at the beginning, for a start, I'll just first of all say I'm from Edo State, Oriomo local government precisely, but I was born in Ego local government. So my PVC is in Ego local government area. NCC asked the question. In fact, I think it was NCC's question at the beginning that prompted me to quickly request for the mic at that time. I know, and this is really just my own opinion. When it comes to Nnamdi Kanu, I feel like I'm not so sure. Or personally, I don't believe he has some federal backing. But certainly, one thing I know about, or one thing my opinion on him is really not just some of his actions has not portrayed wisdom, so he's not wise. Because actually, I feel like Buhari himself would have been an Nnamdi Kanu Pro Max if he had lost 2015 election. I mean, for someone that comes from a region that have not really been how will I put it, stigmatized or kept on the side. I mean, people talk about democracy. If you even really go through the 60 or 62 years of Nigeria's existence, I mean, the North has ruled Nigeria for close to 40 years of that entire time. So you can't really say the North has been marginalized. You get? So if Buhari had lost 2015, Buhari would have been an Nnamdi Kanu Pro Max, to be honest. That's on the side. But I don't want to talk about Nnamdi Kanu. It's this Guguru guy, this Guguru and Ekpa guy. That is my problem. And for me, it's really, really annoying. And because for me, although I'm not sure about Nnamdi Kanu's relationship with government or APC, let me not say government, APC, I am 100% sure. I cannot be surer than this. I mean, this is the surest I can be, that this guy is being sponsored by the APC. I mean, if you like, say your opinion is normal, but me, I'm telling you now that this guy, I think it makes so much sense. In fact, this is as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. It makes so much sense that this guy is sponsored by APC. I mean, it's just somewhere. That's why towards the end of my submission, when I'm going to say what my own opinion on the solution, it's going to be very direct. And now, like I said, let me first of all put a warning here. I mean, I've unfollowed anybody that I'm following that's following him. And I want to advise you, if you are here, that should be the same with you. Because it's annoying me. I looked at that guy's profile and that guy has 60K followers. I'm like, this means we have 60K stupid people or what? As in, if you are following that guy, you are part of our problem. Because this is how we farm all these small boys to now think they have power, they know what they are doing. Because let me tell you, APC's number one strategy in this election, number one strategy against Peter Obi is to destabilize the Southeast. That's the number one strategy. They have so many strategies, but I can tell you their number one strategy is to destabilize the Southeast. Now, what should be done about it? And I will just first of all say, our Southeast people, thank God for those. I'll divide it. Those of us that are in diaspora. I was glad when Chris was talking at the beginning and he said, "Oh, they were already taking action." Because action need to be taken. I was saying some days back, if they pay me, say Benin people, this guy know they happen for Benin. I can bet you Allah, wallahi. If this guy now from Benin for the chop beating from Finland, better beating. Some of all those our brothers from Finland, I go fair catch and just beat and line up, flogging and square.
1 minute Nigerian. We are not promoting violence.
No. Me, I didn't know. No, I said beating, flogging. I know they're not able just talking.
We think of it now, massage.
No, that will be violence. That is correction. That is
violence. 1 minute Nigerian. Quick disclaimer, please. The violence slow down, bro. The violence that we practice on this platform is an intellectual one. We argue with facts and figures. We put proper information out there. We don't encourage anybody to engage in any act of violence. Please, on behalf of the violence team.
Yeah, okay, correct. But me, I just tell you what Benin people feel do. Now, I feel like my Benin people. You get. Then meanwhile, I mean, that's on the side, right? Then the second thing which we've said is the legal action. Thank God, because I was going to say earlier that we need to post, because I saw some days back the petition that was going on. And when I signed it, I saw it was just having 1,000. I'm like, this kind of petition by now should have like 100,000, going to millions of people signing. So please, if you are here, send it to your people. Let them begin to sign that petition so that legal action can go where. Then for the Southeast people in the Southeast, see, if you must do anything, because it annoys me something, I don't understand all this kind of thing. See, those people that are perpetuating this thing, they are not in the Southeast go. They are not people, as in, I understand they may not be Southeast people, because I want to believe that whoever APC is paying to perpetuate the evil, some of them may not even really be Igbo people themselves, but they're not, they vanish come now what kind of road they pass. If you catch all those kind of people, you get, people need to react. Then for others, I mean, the worst thing I don't want to hear, I mean, now people outside Southeast, South, both people from South, Southwest, even from the North. One thing I don't want to hear is people saying things like, Igbo people, they cannot even settle their house. Now we want to support evidence. See, I've said this in 1 million times. Peter Obi is not an Igbo candidate. He's not a Southeast candidate. The reason we are supporting Peter Obi is for Nigeria. So I don't understand how people still see Peter Obi and still think Igbo. When I see Peter Obi, I'm not thinking Igbo. I'm not thinking Southeast. I'm thinking Nigeria. So if you are here, I'm just saying this so that even if Southeast people, they could not do whatever we want them to do or whatever, I'm not relying on Southeast people. So you that is here, you on your own, wherever you are coming from, we are talking about Peter Obi as a Nigerian president. You get? I just looked at this thing. An election is just 71 days and 14 hours away. 71. By the time we come for violence space on Saturday, election will be less than 70 days. So we'll be talking about 60-something days, and we are still here dealing with all this riffraff, all these small boys. So we say, if not be saying a small thing, they say guru for market. So please, that person, don't people that are following this guy. I know that. Please just go through that guy this thing now. Anybody that is unfollow that person, because this thing is vexing. You can't be having this guy fully sponsored by APC, and I'm telling you for free. I hear the mic.
You're just joining us.
Let me find out different shades of blue, please.
I go find out. If you're just joining us, you're listening to the Violence Space. Women Nigerian. Okay, Benjamin. Good evening.
Good evening, my brother. Good evening, my people.
Benjamin, please, you have 5 minutes. The moment, just pay attention to my hand. When you have 1 minute left,
I will not even take 5 minutes.
All right, please go ahead.
First of all, I want to apologize for interjecting on the other guy when I was talking. I just wanted to make him to understand that there is nobody that is not reachable. We are all reachable. So that is for that.
Benjamin, the background noise is a lot.
The young obedient wants to give his opinion.
I tell you. Before I go on, I just want to also understand is that those people are just trying to distract us from what we're doing. That's one. And secondly, they are trying to use this guy to cause mayhem and make sure that they divert our attention of campaigning for Peter Obi and all those things. So it is totally glaring that the Southeast and the South are already in the bag for Peter Obi. Like I said, I will not be taking much time. I just want us to focus, obedient, be focused. This is the right time for us to let them know that we know what we're doing. I'm very happy that a lot of people who have spoken here today, 99% have said they have collected their PVC. That is our power. That is where the whole winning starts. We also need to put more effort to tell people around us who to vote for. We are not even telling them to make choice again, because the choice they made in 2015 and in 2019 is what brought us to where we are today. So we will not allow our brothers or our sisters to make a decision that will affect us all later. Not just that it's going to affect one set of part of people. Like APC, I said they have always failed. You know, like Buhari said the other time, he's already at the verge of I'm waiting for my tenure to expire so that I will just pack my bag and go out. You know, that's the way I see it. Then they are not declaring this guy wanted. They are not telling this guy he should stop whatever he's doing, or rather coming into Nigerian, holding Nigerian passport, or riding to fill government for him to be extradited or one thing or the other. It's all strategy, like what other guys say. in this group or in this particular space, violence is not being promoted. Like what my Edo brother said, I must tell you the truth. If I don't collect boosts in some way since, you understand? So we're not take that one they play because we don't like make anybody spoil our name. I just want to admonish all of us. I beg you all, whatever you guys are doing, Saddam, Oman, everybody, Sleazy, and the rest of them, I just want you guys to know that we are doing perfectly fine. See, if nobody attack you, you are nobody. Now, so Two-Face tell us. If nobody they attack you, you are nobody. When they are attacking you, they are fighting you, that means you are somebody. You are doing great. They never thought it's going to be like this. You understand? I just want all of us to be rest assured. Ekpa and whoever, whatever he calls his name, cannot hold all this whole Southeast ransom on election day. He cannot cover the whole state and say election must not hold. You see, if they say let's take a roll call now, let's conduct an election here today. How many people are present on just only on this space alone? You already have it in mind that Pt2 is going to win them hands down. Like I said, my brothers, we are all in this together. Whether those of us who are okay, who are not hungry, who are not in that situation there in Nigeria, I want you guys to know directly and indirectly, we are all in this situation together. We will not afford to have somebody who is worse than Buhari. I'm telling you. I want to say this. I want to say thank you all. I want to say God bless you all. You guys continue to do what you're doing. And may God continue to give us the wisdom to move this movement forward. Like those of us who said, this is beyond Oman, it's beyond Saddam, it's beyond me. This movement is not about any of us. This movement is about Nigerians all over the world. If I'm campaigning for Peter Obi, I'm campaigning for him because of the Nigerian passport I'm holding, not because I want to come there tomorrow. Thank you and God bless you. We are all in this together and God loves you all.
Different shades of blue. Different shades of blue. Navy blue. Royal blue. Electric blue. Baby blue. Light blue. Midnight blue. Sky blue. Bala blue. Blue. Bulaba.
One more time, I take God back. You this thing, it help my
Blue.
mental health.
Different shades of blue. Different shades of blue. Navy blue. Royal blue. Electric blue. Baby blue. Light blue. Midnight blue. Sky blue. Bala blue. Blue. Bulaba.
Oh Lord. You know what's happen? I want to read one. I want go find one tweet and it comes and that. I want go find. Wait. Just wait. That tweet. I know where it is. I know where it is. I know. You say David. It's a bit cook where. David.
Baba, I say this kit is the best thing on the internet.
I'm telling you.
No matter what I'm going through, once I hear him like this, my mood is lifted.
David, you know, he wrote a thread. I think it was 2 days ago. I think maybe yesterday. 2 days ago. He said they spend hundreds of millions setting up propaganda newspapers. We spend $0 setting up Substack newsletters with wider circulation. They spend billions on TV licenses, equipment, and staff. We open free YouTube channels that reach more people and have better production quality. They spend billions on radio licenses, studios, transmitters. You dey hear me?
Yes, please continue, my brother.
Okay.
Matter of fact, start from top, sir.
Okay, all right. It says they spend hundreds of millions setting up propaganda newspapers. We spend $0 setting up Substack newsletters with wider circulation. They spend billions on TV licenses, equipment, and staff. We open free YouTube channels that reach more people and have better production quality. They spend billions on radio licenses, studios, transmitters, repeaters, and promotional material. We circulate podcasts and host Twitter spaces that reach more people. The old guard really hate how the internet has decentralized control of information. I completely understand. If I'd spent all those billions to guarantee a monopoly on information and a bunch of kids using free online tools were kicking my ass this hard, I'll be mad too. I'll be pulling out my hair and sobbing bitterly. That shit must hurt so bad. And honestly, that is how I feel about this.
I feel
I'm
them.
telling you. I feel them. Because it must be so frustrating right now. the effort they've put onto like gagging people in Nigeria. Look at just asking for Rufai to be sacked from Arise TV. I mean, that is the audacity for me. I don't understand. Like, how do you call for a guy sacked simply because he tries to hold you accountable? And I like Rufai. He came back the next day and he said he had 40 questions for Tinubu. Tinubu under Rufai's 40 questions. Somebody should get an ambulance anyway. All right, let's move on quickly. Ume, are you there? Saddam, can you hear me?
We can hear you perfectly. She's probably
Hello,
not there.
I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, I
Let me
can see
check.
Saddam. I
Let's
think
check.
Saddam is having connection issues.
This
Hello.
space this space might shut down, guys. I think we need to
Yeah,
start.
yeah. In case the space shuts down, we're going to restart in a bit. I think Saddam is having connection issues. His mic is off and is on, and he can't seem to hear me. Sabi.
Uma, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Ume. Please go ahead.
Okay.
I'm hoping the
Good day,
space
everyone.
doesn't crash, though.
Sezo, Oma, Saddam. Okay, I just want to bring out one exposure about the insecurity and the formation of unknown gunmen in eastern Nigeria. If any of you will remember when Obiano refused to attend Eastern Governors Forum, sometimes before the end of his tenure. If you remember his statement, I have his statement right here. He said, statement reads, why Obiano did not attend Southeastern Governors meeting. He said, Governor Willie Obiano of Anambra State has said that he deliberately decided to stay away from the meeting of Southeastern Governors Forum held in Enugu because some of his colleagues were allegedly sponsoring the current insecurity in his state.